Beckett, nice to see you guys. Isko Ken, check your messages, please. Let's see what we're doing here. Bill, always fun to talk with. Bill's a good guy. Well, I'm the I'm the guy in tech talking shop that's not a regular technician. I've been an electrician, I've been a carpenter, and I've been pretty much everything in between this entire week, guys. Drilling concrete, running wires, doing it all. Yeah, that's 2 motor installs. So let's see what goes on tonight, guys. Let's see who joins us. Storm. Me, unfortunately, no, I'm not. I live in California. Archie, good evening. How are you, sir? The missing link is Ken. Ken's a good guy. How's it going, Bill? No, yeah, Friday tomorrow is going to be a big day. I'm walking out on time tomorrow. I might even go in early and leave early. I found out I'm in charge of shipping and receiving apparently now. PSJ. No, the sun is actually almost down here. It's at 7:27 right now. Sun's almost down here, but it's still summertime weather here. The only benefit to California is the weather, but it's not worth the price. I got a question for anyone who's in this chat. How many of you guys do multiple trades at your job like myself? I do a little bit of everything some days. What am I working on? Unfortunately, you know the answer to that, Power Stroke. I can't actually divulge what I work on, but I can tell you it's been very interesting. I put out fires. Oh, you're that guy. You're the guy that runs around the shop. Here, do this, do this, do this, do this. I did that this week with earthquake proofing the building. I didn't need it. It's not broken. Fix it. Yep. Mercury has most trades. Yep. I started doing a lot of hydraulic stuff, which I'm getting, you know, educated on heavily this week. Leader or jack of many trades. An disaster of them all. Well, when you mess up, your mistakes actually educate you. Mistakes are the education of the world, in my opinion. Property, and I do everything. Wish I had some property. I got a little 2-bedroom here. Theo, how are you, sir? What's going on? I'm pretty sure you're working on some sort of rust bucket over there in the Rust Belt, or put new panels in of some sort. Counting IT, counting and IT. That sounds like office work. I don't want to do that. My eyes hurt just staring at my phone. Yo, all right. Bring some of that famous apple pie. Yeah, yeah, I know, Ken. Yeah, you're in school filming all your stuff, and I wasn't allowed to do none of that when I was in tech school. You're here, I'm sanding and prepping all this. And it seems like you're most likely fabbing up your Mazda or your Dassault at school, right? For free. That's what I would be doing anyway. Bring a project into school and say it's credit. So it takes me twice to learn a lesson. Oh, you're only half a town. I'm a quarter of town, so it takes me about 4 times. I have free reign with it. Well, the instructor's just absentee. It sounds like, and not grinding your gears. It's a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. I had an instructor that was too lax when I was doing a manual transmission course, and he was too laid back. Where the guy that taught the automatics was very stern and made you pay attention. Basically, no cell phones in class. What's up, Raging Cajun? How are you doing, sir? I'd actually like to know Raging Cajun's thoughts on California trying to ban the sale of diesels in California. When I'm saying diesels, I mean the big rigs. We're working on that one. I'd like to hear that from a trucker, if that's even a plausible idea. I don't think it really is myself. Too much product to move. We have two major ports. Yes, I found that out when I worked on a Honda. All I did was flip a ring upside down one time, and it was directional. I didn't know it was concave a certain way. That's what was making it not go into a drive mode or a gear of some sort. Took me 3 rebuilds to figure that out. a question I don't have an answer for in Florida, Montevilla. Oh, the smog will away. Yeah, but in the Rockies, though, you can find some really nice crystals and stuff too. Find some nice rocks and all that weird, fun stuff. People go cave diving down in that area. Hmm. Yeah, been watching a lot of news. Apparently, we're also supposed to be getting money for not owning vehicles in this state. Apparently, at some point, I found that out this afternoon on lunch. I think it's a bunch of foobar. Who's this guy? Who we got?
Hang on. Hang on one
Got
second.
Ray.
Let me shut YouTube down.
What's going on, Reggie?
What's going on, everybody?
How you
We're
doing,
getting ready
sir?
to get back on the road tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Oh, so you're at a rest stop.
No, we're still at home.
All
The
right.
truck, the truck just came out of the shop yesterday, and we spent the day today getting it all ready, and some of it yesterday getting it ready with everything we had to put back in it.
All right. Cool. How you doing, sir?
We'll be doing better when I'm back making money again.
A little late in the week to be at home for you, huh?
Extremely, but that's just the way it is, I reckon.
Yeah. You have any thoughts on that? California trying to ban the sale of big rig diesels by 2030 or 2027 or something like that.
I don't see it happening. But we
Yeah.
are talking about California now. They do pretty much anything they want to at any given time.
Yep. Like I know you've been all over the country, right?
Yep.
Like, I know California's a large state, but I just don't see it happen. We have two major ports. We have the port where I live, and then the one down in San Diego.
What are they going to
I,
use to transport their goods? I mean,
yeah,
now here's the question: is it just the sales of big rigs, or are they trying to ban big rigs period from coming in?
uh, I don't know the entire you know terminology and stuff. All the report I saw was the sale of big rigs. So I'm assuming stuff will be grandfathered in, like where it's already in the state, legal by our state law, things like that. That's my assumption. But I don't know nothing. I'm just a little blue collar worker here.
Well, if they do, hopefully the big rigs will still be allowed in the state, but we'll have to see after if and when it passes.
Very interesting subject, just in the all honesty, just because like everyone, just say California completely bans the sale of it. We have our own big rigs in state, and then you have big rigs that may be delivering stuff into state. Where do those ones stand? Or they get free pass on emissions and blah 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 blah. There's going to be so much mumbo jumbo and jargon that's going to get tossed around on this. It's a joke.
Yeah.
You got 49 other states that are going to argue with a lot of this.
Talking about 49 other states that might follow behind because you know how it is. I mean, whatever California does, pretty much a lot of states follow right behind in them.
And I apologize for that. I like things nice and simple. I like things simple.
I lived in San Diego for 6 years. I mean, I know I don't know everything about California, but I know a little bit about a little bit.
For the love of God, you don't put French fries in your burrito, right?
No, I put potatoes.
Ah, San Diego.
That came from a cook that always came from Mexico every day, 5 or 6 days a week, and opened a taco shop down here in San Diego.
Oh, he did. He crossed the border with a visa or something.
Uh-huh.
I don't care how he got here. He got here every day, though.
And he actually put potatoes in his burritos.
Interesting.
I've had it with French fries. It wasn't as good, but it wasn't half bad either. Now we do have I guess you can call it authentic taco shop here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, called SoCal Taco Shop, and their stuff is actually pretty damn good.
Hmm. Well, for me, I've only ever had California, Arizona, Nevada, and some stuff in Oregon. So I'm pretty isolated to the West Coast style.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still going to argue with Ed and Jehu on Mexican food's better in Chicago. I'll argue with that
Right.
all day long. I'm sorry. I like chili
Now
verde.
I have to give you props on something, Anthony.
What's that?
Those drilling videos that you said to do. Well, I tell you, I uploaded one tonight, and within the
You
first
going into
hour,
wood?
it was up over 2,000 views.
Yeah. I mean, I stole that from Ed, and I don't know where Ed got it from. It just, I was at work in the afternoon, and I just went, I'm just gonna do this because I had everything ready to go. I'm like, all right, I got a second, and I just watched it and I laughed. I'm just like, I just want to know why people want to see something like that. I mean, I can't even say I don't even watch it. I just want to see it. Like, I think what it is, we're trying to see if the drill stalls out on us or doesn't make it through the wood.
Mm-hmm.
If
I
it
mean,
hits,
I might have I put a spaddle bit on a few of them. I made like 4 or 5 videos for different.
you
Two of
put
the videos were a Black
the
and Decker
stake bit.
impact driver. Yeah, the spaddle bits
Yeah.
or spade
Who's
bits,
that
whatever
here?
you want to
Oh, you
call
got
them.
Theo.
Theo, what's going on, brother?
What you guys
What's
doing?
going
Long
on,
no.
Theo? How you doing, man?
Not too bad. Just cussing at the computer.
Don't yell at the computer. What did it not do that you told it to do?
Well, I walk in there and the computer didn't want to start up. So you know what? I'll fix your wagon. So I just pulled the plug out from behind.
You can't hit the computer with a hammer, Theo.
Yeah, well, I can't really do that because then I'll lose too much information. Don't want to do that. But it
Well, I
was
mean,
tempting.
you can always take it out on the monitor.
Well, that is the whole desktop. This is one of those fancy ones. So the screen and
Oh, it's all in one. How are you doing, Miguel?
Miguel.
You can just always go buy a junk computer and just take it out on that one.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know. I just smoke
I
me a
just
cigarette to keep my blood pressure down.
I just found out from a coworker that we have this place in San Francisco where you can go to let out your aggression and your rage and frustrations, where you just get to break whatever you want.
Yeah, it's
Drywall,
called
mirrors, walls, everything.
Well, if I would ever find that place, I might as well get me a bed there.
Yeah, I'm like,
those
I
places
just found
are
out.
all over the place.
Yeah, normally it's my
I know what
wall.
you're
It's
talking about.
I went through a lot of drywall in my garage.
I think
Occasionally
it's
hit the
called a
stud
stress
and had a
room
compressed
or stuff like that.
fracture here. Theo, what have you been working on? I
Oh,
saw your
but
Rust Belt stuff.
That thing right there.
Is that the one that you had the little funny shorts on?
No, no, no. That was some other stuff. A couple customers' cars, and well, that one truck was my own. But
Like the mechanic always has the worst vehicle because they're always working on someone else's stuff.
well, I don't know. Some of my stuff is pretty, pretty old and pretty beat, but that's all right. Keeps
Don't
it
talk about
interesting.
yourself like that.
Huh?
Don't talk about yourself like that.
Well, that's all I got is old junk, man.
Well, it's the old junk that lasts.
Well, I think so. I mean, on the end of the day, we're still squeezing the last bit of life out of him. So, hell yeah, we keep running
So,
that stuff.
still waiting for you all to drill into something other than whitewoods. Some good. All right, here. All right. If it's not broken, fix it. If I have time tomorrow, I will drill into a block of metal
There you go, or some
with
oak or
a
whatever.
with a regular drill bit, not a metal drill bit. Just gotta find the time to do it.
I will figure out some stuff to drill into for you.
I tell you what, though, some
But I
of
have
y'all
to
need to figure out the difference between screwing and drilling.
I'm not going to tell you what. I'm not going to say what my wife did.
If we're gonna start with the jokes already, with Theo only being here for 2 minutes, I mean, I've already got. I achieved sensitivity training in the break meeting by using the term two finger tight.
Well, it's a definition.
Well, the women didn't like my definition.
Well, you tell them to get their mind out of the gutter. It's not your mind that's in the gutter.
My job was done. Job was done. It was spoke to spec.
But, yeah, me too.
Smash keyboards in the past. Yeah, I don't smash things. I just throw things.
The worst one I did was a DVD player that kept eating my DVDs, and I just
The
grabbed
laser
the
kept
cord,
scratching them.
drug it out of the house, and start swinging it.
Yeah, well,
Being a technicians
my
ain't no
rage
fun,
gets me
guys.
in a little bit of trouble.
Hibachi's here. All right.
So, Raging, you're back on the road?
Not yet. Tomorrow. Well, we should be back on the road tomorrow. We're waiting on them to send us a load.
Yeah. You got your truck back, though?
Yeah, it's back up and it's out of the shop. It came out. What's today? Thursday. Came out yesterday. We picked it up yesterday.
Oh, well, that's pretty good.
That was
Who's
one of
running the Commons?
I think
Who's-
Jude
who's-
is.
Oh, where's he at? He ain't coming on?
No, not tonight. No.
Oh,
We're flying by the seat of our pants tonight, man.
well, that's my kind of style right there.
Make it up
He's
as we
just
go.
You want to talk about anything or
he's
what?
being a backstage lurker.
Yeah.
What do y'all think about the CT 725?
You gotta tell me exactly what that actually is. Is that the 3/8 impact range?
No, the 14.4 quarter-inch impact driver from Snap-on, the mini one.
I can't speak on that. I don't own that. I own Makita.
Yeah, Milwaukee.
Theo, I can actually attest to this, along with Tarek, who also loves Milwaukee. I have been using the crap out of a lot of Milwaukee products this week. I'm doing a lot of different stuff at work, and I will give it to Milwaukee on the power and the longevity of the battery life. I just don't like the grips on the guns. they feel too rigid and too kind of tacky.
Really?
That's just my personal feel.
on the
I've used Makita for so long. I'm accustomed to their grip.
on the M12 or the M18?
Both. I've been using both.
Huh.
We got some Gen 3 stuff in though. We got some Gen 3 M12 stuff in, and that stuff actually kicks some concrete butt.
Well, I've got zero
I was
complaints
that
on mine.
close.
So.
I was that close from buying an M12. That close.
What happened?
But when I was doing the Home Depot walkthrough, I
Mhm.
posted the videos on my page. The only thing that stopped me was the starter pack had the batteries and the chargers, 6.0 amp hour batteries, but none of the
What's up?
tools that I was interested were the fuel. They were just the regular
Uh,
Milwaukee
the one
ratchet
right under the
refrigerant.
fuel line.
Uh huh.
I can say there is a big difference between the fuel and then the one under it, for sure. We have two of their hammer drills, so we burnt one hammer drill up that was not fuel rated, the fuel line. The other one burnt out. It just crapped out finally. And admittedly, it did last. It made it 3 years.
I run the crap out of this little thing right here, quarter drive.
Oh, that's the stubby.
Yeah, it's this thing has been great.
Is that the 3/8 one,
Yeah,
Theo?
that wasn't even one of the tools that was offered.
No, this quarter.
Oh, quarter inch. Do you have the 3/8 stubby? My cousin told me that thing could take off lug nuts.
Yeah, this beast right here. Right here. But if you look,
Ooh, ooh. Yeah,
oh,
we got some difference in weight and size for sure.
yeah, it's this thing is every bit as skinny as a CT7. What's that? 670 761. Yeah, and it might be, and I think it's a little shorter. So I mean, this thing is. I mean, I love this thing. It's great.
I know you're a big Milwaukee guy, Theo. Have you gotten your hands on the newer ratchets yet?
No,
Not
they're
yet.
They don't come out
Or
no,
till
they
they're,
don't
they're,
even
November.
or
have a,
they're
they don't.
pending release
Yeah, they don't even have a part number for them yet.
for that's their revamped one where they have the slimmer head, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
Gen
yeah.
4.
Yeah, they don't even have a part number on them yet. So, and they said from what I was reading, they said they're going to release it in November, but I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, they're gonna get you for those Black Friday and Christmas deals, Theo.
Well, I don't care. I'm gonna be all over it like stink on shit. So
You're like, take my money.
yes, sir.
Doesn't matter. It's hey, if it works, it works. Anyone going to SEMA in November?
Oh, Healy, you're going with your Cornwell guy, Jude?
I'm not. I know that much. I'll sneak in. But if I'm going to SEMA, I'm going to find other things to do in Vegas. They're talking about the new 3/8 extended high speed ratchet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the 3/8 and the quarter inch.
Wait, who is if it's not broken, fix it? Who is that?
He lives not that far from me. He lives in Fort Wayne, I believe.
I know James lives in Fort Wayne. Who else lives
Yeah.
in Fort Wayne?
If it's not broken, fix it. I don't know what his first name is, so
I cannot pronounce that name. It looks like Huso or
yeah,
Hiso.
Sergio, yeah, yep.
We're going with Sergio.
They were not for sale, but for show. Did they show a part number by any chance? Because I have not found a
that'd be
part
cool.
number on them yet. Oh, his name is Dave. Dave?
Impact rated.
Did y'all watch James's or Midwest's new video last night?
I actually haven't gotten no updates from anything that he's released, actually, so I gotta go check his stuff out.
$250 for the tool only. Whoa!
Whoa, whoa. What's up? What's up?
Hola, amigo.
It's
Hola,
Ed,
amigo.
the tech guy.
Hey, everybody, Ted the old tech guy, and today I'm going to tell you about some good stuff. I don't know. My dogs are barking. Shut up. What's going on with you all,
We
man?
got a part number here.
Flying by the seat of our pants.
What's up, Ragin? What's up, Theo? What's up, Anthony?
Thanks, Sergey.
I tell you, I can't wait to get my new toolbox.
You want to be put in a box?
What new toolbox?
Oh,
What toolbox you buying, man?
Yeah,
I thought you were
see,
talking about a coffin. Like, this guy want to die.
So what's new with Ed? What have you
I
been
am
drilling
either-
into here as of late?
Wood. Wood. So let me tell you guys. But see, you guys will laugh at me, but then when I put out a video talking about a tool that I use in some mechanicatry work, I get no
I saw
respect.
this video. I already know what it is, and I could give you 3 other options.
I get no respect though. Where's the view? Where's the comments? Where's the support? None.
You didn't drill into wood, Ed.
I didn't drill into wood. If I would have drilled into some wood, I would have had all the views and all the comments and the thumbs up.
You would drill in some gun, you? Yeah,
I mean,
Corey, it is the flip Jeep.
I've got something sitting next to me that'll put a big hole through some wood, but yeah.
Oh, dang. Yeah, no, that's not what we're talking about. Miguel Martinez, how are you, my friend? And somebody left me a good comment, and it was, I have to admit, I got to give them credit. They said, Ed, why weren't you using the JIS driver instead of the Phillips driver?
Yes.
And they're right. Yeah, I know. I got it in my toolbox, and I got to admit, sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't, because those outside screws where those panels are, I forget that they're JIS too.
Is it a Honda, Ed?
It's I work on Hondas.
It should all be JS then.
I guess you're right, but I got to go looking for that drawer and make sure that my vessel is in there.
Well, I can't say nothing. I fried my own wiring harness in my Bronco by being too lazy using a power probe instead of a test light.
Mm-hmm.
That was just flat out being lazy.
That's one thing I don't want to put in my toolbox because I don't know how to use it as a power probe.
Power probe you need to be delicate and dainty with and not make mistakes.
Just don't ever put power. Just don't push power. Just read power, and you'll be okay.
Well, then you might as well just grab a test light.
That's right.
See, what happened was I had a trigger switch mishap, and it went, and I hit the power switch. It happens to everyone.
See, on one hand, I love the power probe, but on the other hand, I hate it.
You gotta have both tools.
Because of its functionality. I hate it because of the goddamn wiring. It's like dealing with spaghettis.
No, it's too much.
Right.
To deal with. It's too much to deal with. Yeah. I still want to have just the Power Probe 3, Theo.
Yeah, I still have Power Probe 3 too. I mean,
I never moved on. I saw the stuff, the hook. I'm like, oh, that's a gimmick. I don't want that. Or there was the 4 where I could read the pulses on the injectors and stuff. I'm like, nah, the 3 will do what I need to do. It will serve me very well.
Well,
I
think we're gonna fall into talking about tools here like we usually do, but I got a question for you. For sure the 2 of you, but I'm sure that Raging can comment in. I want to talk about shop politics a little bit. right? So a lot of jobs, and I know, man. Look,
Theo
I
doesn't
know,
get to
I
comment
know
on South
Theo.
politics when he runs his own one-man show.
I know. It's
No,
it's
the
kind
only
of
thing I have is very intelligent conversations, especially when I start talking to myself.
Do you argue with yourself in the mirror like Travis Bickle in Taxi Driver?
I don't have
Or
a
do you
mirror here.
answer yourself?
I don't have a mirror here, so I got to clean my box first, and then I can look in into
well,
that
perhaps
my own
perhaps
reflection.
you worked somewhere before, and it reminded you that you should get your own shop, and maybe that's where you came from, that right? Or have you always had your own shop?
I've always been self-employed for
For newbies, yeah.
pushing
I'm
20
not a
years.
newbie, but I still have misused it.
But I did work, when I was younger, I did work at some places where, I just get really short with politics. I don't deal with that shit. You're in
Well,
you either with me or against me, and we got to move this forward. We got to get the job done. And if you're not with me, get the fuck out of my way. It's that.
I'm going to take a small step away, guys.
Yep.
We're talking politics. I'll be back in a second.
shop politics. We're not talking red versus blue here.
I did
stuff.
work for car.
Go ahead, bro.
I did work for a car dealership as a car detailer, and I was working in a shop. So
Oh, okay. I
I was
didn't know that
working
about
side.
you.
Yeah, I was working side by side with 5 or 6 other mechanics.
Okay. Oh, beautiful.
I used to go, when I didn't have nothing to do, I went over there and helped them. And I tell you, that shop was not for the faint at heart. I mean, we joked around big time. You had to have a strong will to work there. Put it that way.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere. All right.
Go work at a construction site.
Yeah, go work at a construction site. So man, look. Every time we talk about shop politics, you guys default to, I don't want to be lending out my tools. That's not what I want to get into. I know sometimes there's picking on the new guy, like asking him to go find some, I don't know, some blinker fluid, some muffler bearings. I get there's a little kidding around with the new guy, but
100%, Mark.
What's besides borrowing your tools, man? What's something that you guys got to shut down quick with a new guy? Well, besides borrowing your tools and looking at his phone, those are obvious things. But I'm thinking about stuff like,
he
sometimes
said,
I've
she
changed some
said bullshit. You gotta,
yeah.
bite that in the butt ASAP, because it turns sour real quick.
Talking about making a toxic shop.
Yeah, that's what that does.
Not making we're not talking about making a toxic shop. We're talking about shop politics, and we brought up something that
you got to cut the cancer out before it spreads. It only takes one bad technician to do that.
Good. Now we're going down this road. This is what I want to hear. So what do you guys go ahead,
Here's something interesting, okay? Try working with the owner's son and having to train him and tell him what to do.
I've actually done that, raising Cajun, and the owner told him to go home to mom. I'm not going to babysit you on the job site. This is when I was doing construction. He said, go home to mom. These men are working. You're not doing nothing.
You tell him you spank his butt harder than his father ever did.
Well, one of the reasons that I bring this up is we're all old guys here, right? Anywhere between 40 to 50s, right around there. I think Theo was like 30. I think Theo was like 30, right?
I'm the youngest here. We all know.
Okay, so I remember Theo was young. I was surprised by how young he was, actually. I thought he was older, but
Theo just turned 5 years old, dude.
So no, and not because he looks older or anything. I was just struck by his. I mean, he acts and seems like a much older guy. So I always thought he was older than what he was. So you get these young guys into the shop, and there's two truths in any workshop. is you got to train the manager and you got to train the new guy. You got to train your managers, because if you don't train your managers right, then they walk all over you and they treat you like crap. And look, how do we train? How do we bite some of the politics in the butt? Who makes more money? Who respects who? Things of that nature, right? Because you'll get these young guys that think because they have an ASC certification, they could talk down to you. They could say, "Oh, they know more than you do," or because one of them is better to troubleshoot on some type of snap-on computer. Now he thinks he's better than you. You know, oh, you're just a heavy line worker. You don't know what you're talking about. Go wrench something, right? I mean, am I describing this right? Does this happen? Does this not happen?
Yes, a lot of this does happen. But
how do you guys work through that?
like I told you, I've told this to my boss. I don't want to do interviews based off of reading a resume anymore. And I've actually been involved in the hiring process lately. I want to hire people based off of their resume first, but I want them to come in and do what is called a stage. It's a term that is used in the culinary world a lot more, but it's also what I've done when I've worked in automotive, where I go do a working day. Show your sets of skills and see how you work with the existing crew or staff and all that stuff.
Very similar to what you guys go through in the shop in the telecommunications field.
And then you get your job offer.
In the telecommunications field, we work in a node where sometimes there's 4 or 5 or 6 of us working together, and sometimes you got to pull cable and do different things, right? Install equipment and turn equipment up, and you gotta be very technical. You gotta be very fast, and you gotta be very quick about it. So as we go around doing that, I remember there was this young guy, and everybody praised him because he's so fast. But I started noticing that he was fast at doing nothing. He was just fast walking that way, fast walking this way. But I'm like, what did you accomplish with that? All that fast walking? You've been walking for half a day. How much work did you do? Oh, well, I was doing this and this and this. Well, wait a minute. Hold on a minute. We're getting tickets, and those tickets equal jobs. Right. How many of those jobs can you go and finish right now? Oh, I could finish these 2 which were real simple things, like go turn something on and turn something off. And I'm like, wait a minute.
What about if you have to pull and run cable?
Yeah. You've been doing this for half a day, running back and forth. I took this one on, and it was one of the hardest ones to do, and it took me half a day. And all I saw you was walking back and forth. So one time I got really angry at the guy, and I yelled at him, and he took it to heart. He got all like teary-eyed because I yelled at him, and we're in the middle of pulling cable. And I said, "Stop!" I told him, "Stop! You get to helping us work right now, and stop what you're walking around. I don't know what you're doing, bro. I swear to God, if I see you pick up a broom, I'm gonna blow up, because it wasn't time to sweep. It's time to do the work. We got tickets coming in, right?" So very much like that. I'm more than sure that shops go through many things like that. How do you guys coach these young guys, man? How do you guys teach these young guys? What do you make sure to teach them?
The basics.
Meaning, it can't just be the job, right? Basics, changing spark plugs. No, what do you teach them? Like, you got to teach them about the shop politics. Like,
I go off at my own personal ethics. Now, my shop, our big shop has service where people come and clean certain areas and like the restrooms and things. My shop is so small still. We do everything ourselves. So I told them, I'm like, you're going to clean the bathroom today. You're going to take out the trash. You're going to do this. You do all this small detailed stuff. And I'm not going to ever tell you to do something I won't do. It's that simple. I will do the exact same stuff you need to do myself.
What if he's too good to take out the trash?
And then we have a problem. We have 2 employees that are on this. I'm too good to do that. That's not my job.
But that's what I'm getting at. How do you handle this?
At the end of our job description, it does say anything necessary related to the job. And this is part of our job right now because we don't have the capacity to hire said services and things like this. Also, this arrogant attitude is boiling into the, you know, we have a guy that's been with us literally 2 months, and he has a massive ego. Like he knows everything we do. He's made multiple mistakes because he's like, it was good. He wasted 55 gallons of oil because he forgot to put a hose clamp on something. And that is very expensive. 55 gallons is a lot of fluid.
I like that one. Tex Talkie Shop is saying, I don't know who's running the Tex Talkie Shop scroller there, but it says, tomorrow you are not allowed to ask me the question you asked me today. That's a good one. That's a good one. It's a bit rough and unfair though, because sometimes you do got to ask it once or twice. I
also operate on a three rule policy.
I give them three. And
3 times, 4th time, no, you're on your own.
If they ask me a 4th time, I'm like, bro, go get a piece of pencil, get a paper and a pencil, and you're gonna write down what I'm gonna tell you, and I want to watch you write it. I'm gonna tell you again, right? And usually those conversations are around people that have to do stuff on the computer, like know what steps they have to click on, right?
Not for me.
So again, I'm not a mechanic. I know I'm trying to have this conversation with mechanics, but I don't
know what my job is anymore.
I have worked in shops with people, and a shop is a shop is a shop. You've got equipment you need to maintain and work, and you've got people you have to deal with. And I want to talk about the people. I want to talk about the politics within the shop and the people you got to deal with. How about lunches, man? You ever have anybody steal your lunch?
Nope.
No one touches my food.
No, nothing like that. So you guys don't have that issue then?
No, we don't have that really here. The issue we have is favoritism.
Okay, all right. Well, that's a good political issue in the shop. Let's talk about that a little bit. Like
favoritism.
Theo loves his main technician.
Theo stands in front of the mirror and just says it.
Yeah, he's like, look at me, I'm the best tech. I should give myself a raise. No, I'm joking. What about
I don't know. My first question to a new guy is, why do you get paid? And normally they would say, because I work or something like that. No, you get paid to show up on time and to listen. That's why you get paid.
Your first 6 months to a year are just
it's very simple. It puts things in perspective. It doesn't matter what you do. On the end of the day, you get paid to show up on time and you get paid to listen. So that puts things in perspective. And on top of that, and I don't know about favoritism. I always rose pretty quick through the ranks especially as a young guy. But I was always early. I always stayed longer. Everybody else would go home.
Yeah,
and would stick.
I do that.
Or two to
I just work.
Yeah, so on the tickety TikToks, many people have been asking me how they get into a career in IT, right? And I provided some old school advice, and I've had some people already tell me that's old thinking. Why don't you do this and that? And what they don't understand is that old thinking sometimes, otherwise known as wisdom, works really well. And my advice to them was, hey man, you want to start a business in IT? Go print up some cards. Go stand in front of a big one of those big stores that sells computers and fixes computers, and hand out your card and listen at the counter when somebody's really mad that their issue wasn't fixed, and give them your card, and then tell your friends and family that you'll pay them a $25 finder's fee. Watch how quick you start getting business. So for mechanics, when you're dealing in a shop scenario with a young guy and you give this old school advice that works, doesn't matter how much computers and internet and all these things have advanced, there's some good old style advice that works and has always worked and will always work till after we're gone.
I would say the youngsters want like instant gratification, and they want to use the technology to their favor, but they forget the people skills of these kinds of jobs. Like so and so would bring something in, but they can only afford this portion of the repair, but what one is the more vital repair, and that's your job to guide them to the best repair to keep them rolling, sort of thing, in my opinion. And
I
it's
think.
insanely like people only have so much money.
Mm,
Yep.
yeah. What's one thing that'll make a tech a pariah right away?
Give me 1 minute, man.
You know what I mean? What's one thing that a tech can do that'll make the whole shop hate them quickly, and it'll be very difficult to heal that.
Be a bum.
Be a bum.
Yeah, it's old school words, but be a bum. Being lazy, don't clean up after yourself, being nasty.
Mm.
Have a big mouth, no results. Not backing it, backing backing your shit up. That kind of stuff. At least in my book, then I'll be done real quick with somebody.
Oh, look at Corey UTT or Corey UTT,
Corey,
I guess. Corey U. He's got a great answer there. He said,
Yep.
"Go to the bathroom 6 times." Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's a really good one. That's a really good one. Hey, Sergio, that's another good one. Doing crap work and throwing other people under the bus, dude. That's a really good one. If it's not broken, fix it. Says steal coffee and not clean up after themselves. That's kind of along the way where Theo was going, but stealing coffee? You're gonna have to explain that one. Stealing coffee. Oh my god. I have seen employees steal supplies from a shop. You guys ever seen anybody steal supplies from a shop?
Mm-mm.
No?
Well, with one of my trainees, with him being the owner's son, I really couldn't say anything about that.
Hmm.
Because his daddy's paying the bills and his daddy's the owner. So, of
I would
course, that
care
owner
less. I
always
would
took care of
care
me.
less about any of that. To me, if the owner's son is there and he's in the shop or he's working with you, I hold him up to a higher standard than employees. Because in the end of the day, he's there to pull the wagon. Pull the wagon. You want to be the big shot one day? Well, deal with your big shot stuff.
Yeah,
He's the owner of the son is actually one of the owners of one of his dealerships now.
yeah.
So, yeah, he
That's
moved
right.
up.
Diabolical. That's a great one right there. Not pulling his weight and making comparable money. Yeah, that's a really good one. Talk about a morale killer right away when you hire somebody, maybe the boss's son, and he comes in and doesn't pull his own weight and sits there, talks all day and smokes 30 packs of cigarettes and constantly stepping outside to look at his phone. Yeah, man, that'll absolutely kill morale and kill a shop quick. Yeah, I see that kind of stuff all the time, man. It kills me. There's an old saying in business, and I wanted to see what it means to you guys in a mechanic situation, right? Mechanic technician situation. It's the 80-20 rule, and they use this 80-20 percentile in all kinds of different things, from finances to other things. But one of the things that really interests me is that they say that 20% of the people do most of the work in a company and 80% of the people don't. And it's kind of hard sometimes for companies to figure that. In a shop of 4 or 5 men, that's pretty easy to figure out who's really banging out cars and doing a
For
good
me,
job.
I can actually vouch for that mathematics. We're a shop or a company where you have engineers. Engineers, we're going to push to the side because they don't do crap. They do the light work. The technicians do the heavy work. And we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 9 technicians, and only 3 to 4 of them do the actual work. We're talking 9 technicians, and 3 of them do the heavy work, myself included, and 2 more.
What's up, fellas?
Hey, what's happening, bro? Eek.
Not much. I just heard the conversation and I had to get on my West laptop just to join in on this one.
Okay. All right. I'm trying to get this conversation going, man. I know
that on the damn show.
we're we're all we're all dancing around it a little bit.
Raging, you're in trouble.
Raging messed up.
Yeah.
You need to come back, Raging. Why don't you step out for a minute, bro, and come back?
No, I'm good. She's going to bed.
Where are you trying to get the conversation to go, Ed?
No. I mean, we're there, right? We're talking about it. I'm trying to get
Talking about shop politics and
talk about shop politics, and whenever we've talked about shop politics in the past, you guys default to the same things, which is, oh, if he borrows my tools, or if he doesn't clean my tools, or we always dance around the tool subject, but there's more to it than that. There's way more involved in shop politics than just borrowing your tools.
For shop politics, we have a new guy that's been with us for 2 months, and he's very cocky, very arrogant, and he's made the mistakes that he's made, but he doesn't own up to his mistakes, and it does piss me off because he points at me as not a leader or any of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I also work a whole different shift now.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave me this line of jargon crap why he didn't do some of this safety regulation stuff we needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, no. I looked it up myself. I'm like, dude, you're wrong. You were just being too damn lazy to do the damn job. And I did this in front of my boss. This is at 7 a.m. in the morning when I went in the other day. You just made an excuse to not work. Or doing it. And you had one primary task and, fabricating metal and, whatever we need for fixtures and stuff. It's a big deal. It's like, I find it like, and this person is on the favoritism side. But I've had personal conversations, and I'm like, start looking more and more into this, and this, because I've been there the entire time, and I'm like, the way this company works, I explained to the new, boss, here's how things have been going. Lay it all out. And my conversation was, I'm an honest man. So I have high favoritism, but I also don't act like it either. I work overtime. I work early hours. I take everyone's shift that doesn't want to work.
Wait, hold on, guys.
A lot of things going on here.
Who's running the comments real quick?
I think Jude is, ain't he?
If it's Jude, man, dude, he's right on it. That's the comment I wanted to get to. I'm surprised you went right back
Sergio's
to it.
comment.
No. Well, Sergio's was one of them. But before Sergio's, it was the guy coming in saying that wrenching is just a stepping stone to becoming an engineer is a pariah.
No, it's just for me. It's just it's hard because I'm working with kids that are 15 years younger than me, and they all have an ego that is so much bigger than me because they were raised so differently than I was. Like they want the money and that's it. They don't care about the job. I actually want to do the job. That might be more personal though. I don't know.
No, I want to hear this because see, there's the shop environment is interesting. Most of the shops that I've seen are 2-bay, 4-bay, even 6-bay shops, right? And that's a close-knit group there. 4 to 6 employees, 8 employees, 12 employees that are really out there wrenching and doing work. You either work in harmony or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
And
you have to have trust.
Dude, I could just see it is. I'm sorry to say it this way, but it is like a fine dance. Think of like an orchestra. Think of somebody just getting out of tune, and you mess it up for everybody, right? Some like Theo was saying, if you start getting messy, if you start just causing trouble, and you start taking, like somebody else mentioned here, going to the bathroom 6 to 8 times a day.
Oh, we got one today. 20 minutes every single day, and then like
Yeah, but
five
do you
five
guys
tea
ever
shift breaks.
do you guys ever do group meetings?
Yeah, we actually started it now.
Yeah, but how often do you do them?
We're supposed to do them every day, twice a day. We do a morning one, a mid shift one, and then we do morning and mids. So we do two.
Yeah, but but those are group meetings to talk about what's going on in the shop, right? It's not about issues.
Yeah, it's not about issues. No, we were supposed to do monthly powwows. People don't like when I talk to them, by the way, Theo.
Yeah, so Tarek brings up a really good comment there. It's a lot of times the bad things going on in the shop and
Right, 100%.
are on the leadership and management, and that is absolutely a part of the politics in the shop. And what I was getting to earlier when I was saying you not only have to train the young guy, but you have to train the manager, right? You may not be the manager at a shop, but you need to train the manager to say, "Hey, man, look."
When I had 20 guys under me, we had meetings, at least once every other week, and those were not about work. Those were about
Personnel.
frustration or things that are not happy with, just to nip that shit in the butt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're working on that.
Yeah, but it's very important because if you do that, and the first couple times are going to be really hard because nobody wants to say nothing because they're afraid they're going to piss somebody
I
off.
can tell you right now, Theo, we have 3 to 4 guys that want to leave.
Well, but if you create, I don't know, I don't want to use the liberal word of safe zone or whatever, but if they
No,
realize,
we're not going to use that. No.
but if they realize it's okay to talk about those things and those issues do get resolved right there in that meeting.
The word I would use is intimidation, because everyone's afraid to talk to the guy that took over our old boss's position, which I actually personally have no problem with. I walk to him and I talk to him man to man, and boom, 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 we hashed it out. He doesn't like how I talk some days, and I don't care. Just do it. Everyone else is afraid to bring up issues. I'm like, this is where my age versus theirs is more important. I'm like, you guys need to learn to talk to him this way. You need to do this. You need to do this. He's not a bad guy. He's more disciplined. He's not more skilled though, but he's more of a disciplinarian. And he has a
Okay, my
set
whole point
agenda that
was
he wants
it's
done.
exactly what you're talking about. You stop talking past each other, have those meetings every other week, and talk to each other. Not one guy talking to this guy and then this guy talking to that guy. That's how you get people pissed off.
Right.
They need to talk.
I got
they need to
$50
throw
right
that.
now.
They need to throw that into the group, and then it needs to be hashed out right there. That way, everybody knows exactly what's going on. And by doing that, you actually create a really good workflow, and people.
These guys aren't bad workers. They're just not disciplined.
Yeah. Well, that's so that right there. If you're able to identify that there's something that's missing, and that's the Theo's point. Theo is saying that you should be having meetings to have those things surface and work on those things. Maybe not only as a group, but as a manager too, right? So sometimes I've noticed that when you have a group of people, some people don't want to be taught directly by their manager because they don't want their manager to notice how dumb they are or what they're lacking in the specific skill set. So they are,
hence my point in the skill set resume and physical work interview.
Right. So perhaps they may learn better from one of their coworkers, and having a big group meeting like that, you could start seeing who is kind of bonding with who. You could see who works with who. You could start seeing the separation and the divide between people, like just by to Theo's point, you have a group meeting, right? How people stand or get together, you can start noticing who's with who and who's not with who.
You got to make sure that you put those people together and let them work together.
That's right. They need to work it out. And again, to my analogy about the shop, right?
Yeah, but
Two
it's
base-
also because some people like each other better than others. It has nothing to do with I don't like you or I got an issue with you. No, it has to do with I like this dude better than that dude to work with. And if that comes natural with a couple guys like that, put them together and let them do the job.
Just let them do their thing.
So,
Now we have
Right,
a
right.
reverse
Because
conflict in my job. Yep.
you only create more of a positive attitude to work and you get more done on the end of the
Yeah.
day.
Now, I can flip this coin completely around on you, Theo, where everything you said is completely correct. Let's put the guys that get along together that are going to produce work. Let's get that done. That admittedly does work. We have a problem in our shop where we have 3 to 4 people who are friends personally that went to school together and grew up together outside of work. Now, for me, that does one thing and one thing only. It breeds a toxic work environment because they back each other up and they all will lie for each other and say, oh, I didn't do that. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. That's a different scenario, unfortunately.
Okay,
That's
but
very different.
that's only because they're not working together as a group because somehow you're involved in that.
No. If I do something wrong, they would gang up on me. But I'm very good at my job, and they know that.
yeah, see, so
And
it's up
that's
to your.
why you need those meetings so they can
Yeah,
straighten that out.
that's right.
Yeah,
You need your manager needs to be
and
putting those.
I'll tell you right now, the easy way I would fix this, I would fire 2 of those 4 to break up that power. I look at it like when I
My
use the
rule was very
terminology.
simple.
This is a power. It's a power group in the shop that will always protect itself over everyone else. And that's not a good thing to ever have either.
My rule was very simple. You want somebody fired? Make sure you find a replacement. I'll fire him tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you
It's
how
real
I see
easy
it.
to tell the boss, hey, we need to fire that guy. Well, okay, the work still needs to get done. You're going to pick up the slack? Well, no. Okay. Then find the replacement, train the replacement, and then I'll fire the guy for you. No problem. And guess what? It works. Because then they start looking at things a little different too. Because now you put the responsibility, or you put the responsibility is a big word, but
You
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 you try to
you
share
accept
the
the
load
you
on because it's real easy
think
to
the
say,
word
oh,
you're looking
we
for,
need to
Theo.
fire.
Give me that burden while we get rid of this cancer.
Right, but what happens is that the next guy that gets brought in by those guys will fit and gel with those guys. So, and when you start doing that, they got a group that really gels well together.
Yeah, but at the same time, half these guys can't do half the shit, and they just make up crap, and they always pass the buck. That's the thing I've noticed in the last couple of weeks for sure. There's a lot of pass the buck stuff going on.
Yeah, that's only because that's allowed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That. So that's the kind of
Because
stuff
This
that
is
that.
good.
tells me that
My
tells
shop
me one
in
thing and one thing
transition.
only. That means there is no SOPs in place in order to keep that shit straight.
That's right.
Because
That's
if
right.
there's a standard operating procedure, I don't care. On the end of the day, you or those 2 guys or those group of people who were there, you guys were responsible. That's where you fucked up, and you need to fix that. Then there's no passing the buck.
I mean, I don't mean to toot my own horn though, but I'm in high favoritism because I'm an honest worker. I'm like it's something as little as like I was doing a job. I'm like, yo, I need this, I need this, I need this. He's like, why do we need this? I'm like, this is stripped out. This is stripped out. I need to retap this. This is something we don't have in the shop. I don't even own personally. We need this, this, and this. And my boss literally told me, he's like, I'm not used to someone coming in my office and saying I need shit to do my job. And it's stuff that I actually need to accomplish it, and I didn't feel like fucking buying.
Well, that kind of takes us back to I think if it's not broken, fix it. Said it's difficult to train a manager who thinks they know everything because they've got all kinds of certs or whatever. Listen, training a manager is always difficult because not only do they hold your pay, but they kind of hold your job in place. Unless you're Theo, of course, and you are your own manager, right? But you can go ahead and control
Theo probably
some.
is going to forget to pay himself tomorrow.
I highly doubt that's true. Um, um, but you can control that. You can control that because there's ways to show your manager that the decisions he made are right and wrong, and it's some tough things that you have to do, and sometimes it
Yep.
hurts. Like, you know what?
You got to be able to be uncomfortable
Yeah, but let
for
me
those
ask you
hard
this:
times.
is the manager hired in, or is he coming off the work floor?
That's a
My
good question.
manager that I have, he came in from another company, and he's not the same.
And there's your problem.
You're broken and it's not fixed.
Yeah.
I would never.
I personally
I
like
would
him though
never.
because he's trying to steer the ship in the straight direction and make sure it stays that way.
And see,
I would never hire a manager from the outside. The manager needs to come from the work floor. Because
I completely disagree with you, Theo. A lot of what the military does works. When somebody gets promoted to, we'll say, non-commissioned officer or staff non-commissioned officer, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say it was probably the same for Raging in the Army. When they took over a new platoon, they didn't stay with the platoon they came up with.
No.
We switched them around every single time because overall, over a history of the existence of both the Marine Corps and the Army, that has what has been the most effective.
You're exactly right. See, when I rose up the ranks to staff sergeant, I didn't stay with my unit.
Same here. When I hit
yeah, but I don't feel like the
corporal
Army
sergeant.
is the same as a work floor.
There's differences. You're right.
I mean, I would never salute my boss. I mean, in the Army, you have to. Well, but it's a small example, but that's where it starts, right?
No, I get what you're saying, Theo, but
The advantage of promoting somebody up from the work floor is it gives other people the incentive to do better because there's promotion to be had, and on top of that, that person already knows from every level how this company or how the job gets done. So when a new guy shows up and he says, "Well, oh, I can't do this," the manager can say, "Stop your crying because I've been there and done that," and that works all the time.
Theo's methodology here is shit is rolling downhill.
And I get that, but Sergio made a good comment right there. But the dynamic is the same. If you stop and look at the top Fortune 500 companies, they all emulate their business model based off from the military.
Yeah, but a small business is not a top Fortune 500 company.
I understand that.
You can never compare. You can never run a small business like a big company like that, like a corporation. You can never do that. You cannot hold it together. You cannot keep your money in your pocket when you do that.
Those are expenses galore.
Well, but it's okay, but it's a whole that is 10 levels up as a small company or small business. You got to realize that, a small business, if you got 1,000 employees, that's still considered a small business. Imagine yourself if you got 10 employees. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I think there's value in what each of you is saying because I can understand what Ken is saying. I've seen it happen. I've seen it work, but I've also seen what you're saying, Theo, and it's worked really well. Giving people the chance to know that, hey, you could become the boss one day. And the bosses that come up from the bottom up, they know everything. They know every SOP. They know
Right.
They know every single procedure that has been put down, and they already have a grasp of how they'd like to maybe improve those SOPs to make things better. I absolutely get both ends of the spectrum. You're both making great
I would say Theo's methodology is the same that I agree on. You start at the bottom, you work your way up.
Yep.
The reasoning would be is because you start at the bottom, you learn, you do the grunt work, you're gonna hate it. but you're being educated constantly. But then you figure things out, and
To
while you're growing, you can find ways to do things faster and better.
to Ken's point, though, you could try to grow somebody to that management level, and not everybody's built to be a manager, and they fail greatly. I've seen that happen where they've from the bottom up, they've been trained to come up to that position. They're put in that position, and they can't lead, and they don't know how to control people. That
They only
they know all the ins and outs, but they don't know how to. They don't have the right
They don't
person.
know how to manage.
They don't know how to manage. They're not
the only thing that I would
I
disagree
see
with
both
Ken
Yeah,
on
okay, but that is the boss's
is
fault. That means they hire, they brought the wrong person up.
yes,
You know, within 2 weeks, if you got a new guy on the floor, you know within 2 weeks what he's capable of, what he can and cannot do. And if he has management skills, you know that instantly.
No,
And
I don't.
here's another thing. When it comes to management, there's a lot of different ways of managing. For example, the army, I feel like that would be more of a scare style management. So if you don't do this, this is the end result. And if you got a small business, that's more of a I don't know how to call that, of a friendly style management. That
Mhm,
there's it's how you want to say it. It's more family like.
mhm. Well,
Well,
go
well,
ahead.
here you go. I'm gonna piggyback what you just said. I'm gonna piggyback off what you just said, Theo.
Yeah.
With any branch of the military, if you don't follow the ways of their ethics to a letter, that could potentially get somebody killed completely, or if not, your whole damn platoon.
Yes.
Right.
But within a business, it can cost that business to shut down. So basically, it's almost like the same thing. You're killing a business, or you're killing, yeah. So I mean, either way you go, you gotta follow the letter of the law of either one of them.
Well, it just depends on what style management gets picked from the boss, what kind of person he is. And
Mhm.
each style works because on the end of the day, the people that work there are that kind of person. That like that style of management. Somebody who is in the military would not like to work for me, for example, because there is less structure, and they
Scott,
probably
love
would
to come work
shine
for you,
better
Theo.
in a bigger setting where there is more structure.
Shit, I
Does
would
that make
enjoy
sense?
working
And
in your
then
shop,
it
Theo.
has nothing to do, and in either which way you want to look at it, that management, works or don't work, that don't matter. It works for that person who runs that business.
Mhm.
And they all work on the end of the day because they get done either which way.
Right.
Well, I think this has been interesting, valuable discussion. We don't have to agree, guys. We don't have to agree, and
Right.
we can have our own opinions, because this is the point of this: is that shops are run differently. Different things work in different shops. Different personalities meld differently in shops, and there is no perfect answer. Things have to continue to evolve for you to figure out what really works with some technicians, no matter the industry, because
Seeing by
uh,
this, for example, if you look
uh-huh,
at this comment here,
a
you
manager
know,
should be able to show me how to do something, not tell me how to do it.
so with
Mhm,
that comment, then the
mhm.
manager that comes up from the work floor is the perfect person for this.
So
But here's the flip side to that, and I agree wholeheartedly, Theo. I agree with both of you guys on that one. But what I'm getting at is, say I work for Marine Chevrolet here in Jacksonville, North Carolina, as a technician. Been there for 10 years, and Team Chevrolet in Swansboro, North Carolina, has a management position opened up, and I apply for it. I can still do exactly what you're asking, but I'm coming in from outside of that shop.
Okay, but but that's on the end of the day, that is almost the same as military because they're basically same kind of structure. Because on the end of the day, in order to be a Chevrolet dealer, they have to follow certain things and certain SOPs in order to be a Chevrolet dealer. They don't follow those steps through that Chevrolet says those are the things you have to do. If they don't do that, they lose their dealership.
Yes, but they're still small businesses because they're franchises.
Right, right. But if you talk about a regular small business, which is not a franchise, that then it could not work. I'm not saying it wouldn't. It could not work. I've done it before that I came into a place and I was basically instantly within management, and it's very hard to create that position
Mm-hmm.
And
because
I'm not
nobody
saying that.
knows you, and they say you're the greenhorn, so we're gonna make your life a living hell for the first month, and then you got to mud through that shit, and in the meantime, you don't get nothing done.
That's a toxic environment that you don't want to be a part of at the end of
Right,
the day.
but it's everywhere, just like that. Every man, any person that comes in higher up through that, it's like, oh, it's the new guy. Let's see what we can get away with. And if you come from the floor up, that is instantly eliminated. The only other problem when they come from the floor up, that's the only issue is, hey, man, you know me. You know, you get that kind of shit. So, but if that person moves up,
I know exactly what you mean, Theo.
but they know how to cut that off, they can say, yeah, I know you, you know, and but because they are from the workforce, they can say, well, this guy normally doesn't make mistakes, so you know, we'll let this one pass.
When
But
you
if
have when you bring
if
the people
new
from in,
guy,
like Theo's talking about, it is generally a better because you have someone who's actually friggin' knowledgeable about the job.
right, and that was what I was getting at. But if you get a new guy coming in and you make a major mistake, you know, they could say you're fired, and they could fire the best guy that's in the shop.
And I mean, every point you're making is valid. I just think that the idea of never hiring somebody for a management position from outside is kind of foolish.
Well, but that's how I would do it. That doesn't mean that is law. I mean, you know,
Right.
if you run your own business, you run it any which way you want to. I would never do that. And
Yeah,
those were my points why I wouldn't do that.
right, and this is the point, right, of this exercise and this discussion is that there is no right answer here. So there
Right.
don't nobody should feel like, hey, that the answer to this question wasn't valued because there are different ways to look at this. There are different ways to handle this problem,
Right.
and I wanted to explore them. And I think you're both right. Neither decision is wrong. Hiring somebody from the outside has value. Hiring somebody from within the ranks has its value, and you just have to see what best fits your shop. Um, I could see myself. Let's say I got into owning a shop tomorrow. I've never been a mechanic before, like a professional mechanic, right? Besides just working on stuff on my yard and stuff. I want to hire somebody to run the techs. I can't run the techs, right? I'd want a Theo to be like, all right, man, develop your team, get your guys, tell me what you need. I don't need to know that part of the business. I just need to know the what you need from me. Is it advertising? Is it sales? You know, at that point. So
Part numbers, blah blah blah. What materials? What this, that.
yeah. There's value. There's value to bring from both ways of thinking, man. I appreciate you guys going down the rabbit hole with me on this, man. I got another question for you guys since I'm Mr. Question Guy here. What's the one job you guys don't want to do? Like, all right, man, here comes this car. Huh? What was that?
Shoveling shit.
Yeah, nobody wants that. No, what's that job you don't want to do?
Working on rusty vehicles.
Rusty vehicles? Yeah, that's
See,
every
you're an expert at that, man.
that's every
You
vehicle.
are so good. You were able to kick that panel out.
Tires on a dually. Okay, what's that, guys?
I've actually never done tires on a dually.
Changing them.
Changing the tires. Well, if you got that nice big machine, what does it matter? Isn't it easy on that thing?
Yeah, but you got 6 instead of 4.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because
Yeah,
the dually
it's
has
not-
dual. That's why they call them dualies. They have dual tires in the rear.
Oh,
And it's
oh.
getting
I
that
keep
inner
forgetting.
tire off is not like getting the outer tire off.
Well,
I'm
actually,
so
a
sorry.
dually pickup truck is not that bad. I mean, they're just butted together.
See, I keep forgetting that Jude works on trucks, and trucks have the. Yeah, I'm such a city boy. I forget. I think everybody's driving a Camry or a Honda Ridgeline.
Hey, you said a Toyota product before a Honda. With a Honda hat on.
What did I say?
You said Toyota Camry first.
I said Toyota Camry.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm smoking
Toyota
drugs.
Camry first.
Dang, dude, I, you know what? I'm thinking of a job that I got coming up. I'm so sorry. I meant to say a Civic. I got a job coming up on a Toyota Camry.
Brings up another good point right here.
What's that?
Look at its comment.
At Botches Blanket and More. Tell that to my last company. Our operations manager didn't come from the HVAC field, and he was a consultant. Yeah, bro, I've seen that a lot, and even in my industry.
That is asking for trouble right there. Doing something like that.
Consultants we've had actually within the week, and no bueno. We're doing it ourselves instead.
I have seen guys that were bankers come in and start telling all the techs and engineers how to do stuff.
So one of the reasons I really threw my wife's computer together so I could get on here and talk with you guys was I was listening to back earlier in the conversation where it said don't ask more than X amount of questions per day.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to tell you right now, if that's your mentality, you are 100% wrong. And here's why. As you all know here, I'm going through this auto body collision repair class, right? Anthony, you and I have talked about it through comments when you said
it's fantastic. I love watching it, man.
When you said that, it's cool that I can video in there. Well, it's because my instructor is non-existent. I'm literally passing a class that I'm not getting instructions in, and I'm going to graduate from it. So once I
get not like so you could be finishing a piece of sheet metal and you might not even know.
Exactly. So when I get to a shop and say I'm working for you, Anthony, or you, Theo, or whoever else was there, and I'm asking you questions, it's because I genuinely need to know and want to know and learn. But with the attitude that the way it was coming off, and I could be mistaken, I could have misread it or misheard it, but it was coming off as in you're too good to teach that person something. And that is not, as a trainer, the right mentor, the right attitude to have towards it.
No, I know exactly what you mean, Ken. I've had the same issue when I was in tech school when I was 23. And the only way that I was able to excel myself was by constantly asking questions and, being a pest because I wanted to learn. Sounds like your story's a little bit different than mine, though. Like, my instructors like being asked questions, though. But I'm spending $30,000 to learn this stuff. I'm going to get everything out of it.
So let me tell you how my day ended today. It was 11:40. Class was over. We cleaned the shop up, swept, dusted, mopped, the whole 9 yards. And all 19 of us students were standing in the bay, and our teacher walks out the back door and just disappears.
Walk out there, smoke a cigarette, and just say, "Oh, you guys are good. You all getting a B."
No, he didn't say a word to us. Literally walked out the door. I walked out and yelled, "Hey, Brian, are we good?" He goes, "Oh yeah, you guys were good to leave 10 minutes ago."
I'll tell you right now, in all honesty, that's not a good instructor. You just
No, it's not. And I've talked to the administration.
He's a bad instructor. He's absolutely collecting a paycheck.
What was that, Theo?
What did you say, Ken? You talked to the administration about it?
Yes, I'm letting them know basically, hey, look, these are the issues we're having in class. You want to know how I learned to set up the paint gun? Another student showed me.
Well,
That's his job.
you're getting some of your shop environment teachings right there.
Yup. Sounds like my suspension class almost.
It's very sad that that teacher is not there to actually teach you something, Ken.
So, and I'll be the first to admit, I have done a lot of teaching and instructing over the years. 8 years in the Marine Corps, 6 years in law enforcement. Yes, the material was different, but teaching as a whole is the same. Now, I was actually a state certified teacher through North Carolina for law enforcement. Still to this day, even though I've been out of it for 10 months now, I can go to any sheriff's office and I can teach them and I can certify them because I've maintained those instructor certificates. The guy knows his knowledge. He is very knowledgeable. When you can stop him and actually grasp his attention enough and reel him in to teach you, he's phenomenal. He just has no group instructional anything to him. He cannot
He
teach.
can't sit a classroom down and just convey with
Not at all.
personality the right way.
Yes, that is 100% correct.
That sounds like the instructor that taught the ignition course that I took.
But have you talked to him?
Tried to.
Well, next time just pin him down and say, hey, listen here, mister.
His response, I won't be here after this year.
Ah.
Oh, similar to the ignition teacher I had on emissions and stuff, or whatever it is.
Well,
He's on his way out. He don't care. He has no passion for it no more, unfortunately.
But and when I was saying the whole question thing, if people are asking legitimate questions, if they sit there and all day long ask you, well, why'd you make peanut butter and jelly instead of ham and cheese? Yeah, smack the shit out of the little bastards. But if they're asking, hey, why do we disconnect this prong first as opposed to that one or whatever? It's so we don't fry the ECU, dumbass. That type of stuff. Because they may not honestly know. That's all I was getting at with that.
I can relate to a lot of the stuff you're talking about right now, Ken.
well, maybe you need to find yourself a shop where you can do some, intern stuff part-time or something or another.
No, that's actually a good idea, Theo. I did that with a local shop, and they said, "Yeah, come on. We'll pay you base. Shows what you got. Going back
Cool. You
through
can do
that.
better than that. You got to step
So,
that redneck stuff up.
I'm actually in the process of trying to do that, Theo. There's a few places around, but the two that I've talked to so far, they want to hire people that they can put straight on the floor and go straight to work.
15 to 30.
So
Alright.
I'm still going around to a couple of the other ones, and I'm going to see what I can and can't do.
Okay, but even if you go over there for a couple hours for free, I mean, they would be dumb not to let you come in and help.
They won't.
Won't.
Yep. Insurance
That's
purposes, they say.
man.
That's
I
what both
interviewed.
people told me.
I interviewed for my first oil changing job. I changed oil for 6 hours and did 2 brake jobs, and I got offered $9.50 an hour. That was my first auto shop job while working in a restaurant. And I still took the job. I did both. I'd open the shop up at 7 a.m. I'd finish up at 5. I'd go to the restaurant.
But it all depends on who you run into, though. Because in my book, I would hire Ken over anybody with a piece of paper. I'd rather have somebody that wants to learn, that wants to work, and all those things. So, but that's just me.
You got about 30 more minutes, guys.
Yeah, and I see, and I think that's on one hand, that's how you can create good employees because you teach them not the bad habits for your business, for your company.
Yes.
So bring somebody in to train. They like it. They come back for a job, and then and as an owner, you already know that person, so you can hire him.
You're 100% right. And I'll put it into another perspective. So we started our fall baseball league recently, and I have a boy on the team that's never played baseball a day in his life. This is his first time out here. And when we were doing our introduction, he said, I'm the worst player on the team because I've never played baseball before. And my response to him was, no, you're the best player on the team. You're better than both of my boys who play for the high school. And he kind of looked at me funny and he's like, how's that? I was like, because you don't have any bad habits. I can teach you everything the right way, and I'm not going to have to fix something and then teach you on top of it.
Basically, you're telling them you're not broken right now.
Mm-hmm.
God, I love baseball so much. It's a metaphor for so many things in life.
Mm-hmm.
I watch baseball more than football.
Well, here Dennis will teach you. He says
That's what I saw.
so. I don't know where he's at.
I can Bondo, Rusty, Caps, blah, blah, blah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know nothing about Bondo and
I got
Cavs.
so
I live
many
in
tricks
California.
for cap corners. It's not even funny.
Go Astros. I've never heard of her.
Who are those guys? Who are those guys in Texas? Remember the Astros? I don't know about those guys. Weren't those guys that weren't they caught cheating? Calling signs.
That's not cheating. That's intelligent baseball playing.
No, it's not cheating until you get caught.
But yeah, I would love
You can
to
read the whole sign. You can read the signs all day long on the field.
What's that, Ken?
I said, yeah, I would still love to come work with you, even though we disagree on a few things. At the end of the day, hands down, I would if you were closer, or I was closer to you.
North Carolina and Indiana are not far.
Yeah, but there isn't a vehicle
have
in the
to
world
drive
good enough to make that commute.
Right.
Stop buying those souls. What's the other one you have? You got the Del Sol, and then you got the
Eclipse.
The Eclipse.
Yep.
Are you working on both of them?
The Eclipse, not right now. That's kind of put on the back burner. I'm considering selling it. I haven't quite made my mind up yet.
Gosh.
But you know what?
Oh.
Maybe like Dennis says, he's in Orlando, Florida. On the end of the day, it might not be a bad thing to go over there for just 2 weeks and just have that. Because I can guarantee you that guy, if he has that much experience, he can teach you in 2 weeks what you will learn in that school in 6 months.
I wholeheartedly agree with you.
And maybe
I wouldn't go to Orlando right now.
That's where you're going. That's where you're going, Cajun.
You catch a ride
No.
with Rage.
Oh yeah, they'd have to give me a big bonus to go into Florida right now. That ain't happening.
I forgot. Yeah, we got the hurricane and all that stuff.
Yeah. I'd wait a few weeks before I went into southern Florida.
All I'm saying is we're about to see a lot of used cars pop up on the marketplace for dirt cheap.
Yep.
Yeah, they're going to be contaminated with salt water, though.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I remember my first oil change on a I think it was a Corvair or a Corvette or some crap GM product. And the frame was so rusted, and it was a Florida license plate vehicle that came in for an oil change. I'm like, what happened to this vehicle? It was my first encounter with rust, and it was bad. It looked like it fell in the damn ocean.
I almost traded my truck in today. I spent 45 minutes with this car salesman. I've got that 2017 Chevy Colorado, right? I stopped at a dealership that had a 98 Corvette and a 2002 Suburban, the third row. So they're a little bit older, but that's what I want. I'm trying to get away from brand new vehicles or newer vehicles, right? So I stopped in and I asked the guy, I was like, hey, the Corvette, what happened to it? It was just here when I did the U-turn. I guess they were taking it back because of all the rain and the nasty stuff that we've had. They were washing a bunch of vehicles. I was like, is that a manual transmission? He said, yes, it was. I was like, cool. Here's what I'm looking at doing. Trading my truck in on possibly this Suburban and the Corvette, seeing what kind of deal we can work out. Test drove the Suburban. For a 2002, it only had 121,000 miles on it. So not bad. I liked it. It would fit everything that I needed. It was four-wheel drive. That's all I asked for. He goes to pull the damn Corvette out, and it was automatic. I will not buy an automatic sports car. So I literally looked at him, and I was like, I thought you said it was manual. He's like, I thought it was. I was like, well, you thought you had a sale. Have a good day. And I got my truck and drove off.
Happens. Well, that's how it goes.
Yeah, I said if my truck you gave me any more
Oh,
problems.
you're talking on mute. I've been talking on mute this whole time. Ed, did you see the Gen 4 M18 hack for 290? I did not. I did not see that.
These hacks people talk about, what exactly is that?
It's just ways to get the so there's a couple ways to do it, right? So one example of the hack is you buy this tool, they give you this battery for free, and then you can return the battery, and then you get to keep the tool for like a really cheap price. Another hack is you got to put these two items in your cart, and all of a sudden, with those two items in your cart, there's an automatic deduction of like 30% because
Take care,
either
Butchie.
on purpose,
You, Bocce.
Good night, Butchie.
either on purpose or not, there's a mistake in the system and it's allowing for that. So, it's cool.
Okay. See, I was under the impression that what people were doing is like when Cobalt has their buy two batteries, get a tool free with it. They would buy the batteries, pick out a tool, and then return the batteries and keep the tool. So basically, they're stealing it.
Well, that's the hack.
See, I couldn't do that. I'm
Yeah,
not
but
buying.
that's
I'm
what
not
they're
buying
talking about. That is the hack, Ken.
If I'm going into a store and I'm going to buy something, I'm going to keep everything that I'm getting.
I would be
Because
no different.
ultimately,
And I don't care if it upsets people, but to me, that just means you're a low life thief. If that's what you're doing.
I'm just too greedy. I want to have it all.
I'm not somebody that goes around doing that, but I'm not gonna get mad at nobody that does it. They should fix their system, one. But number two is I'm absolutely the guy that walks around a Home Depot looking for that cart that's got the discounted items, and I'll run and get that stuff in a heartbeat. And I don't see too much of a difference in that. I do
But
think it's
they're marking it down. They're marking it down in store. They know it. You're still paying for it, and you're taking it home and keeping it.
So I
You're
used
not
to have
being a thief.
So I used to have this. I used to have the same ideology. But somebody told me something once, and I was like, wait a minute, you're right. Home Depot, Lowe's, these guys, they're such big companies. If they wanted it fixed, they'd have it fixed tomorrow. They don't want it fixed. They like it. Do you know the amount of advertising and the amount of people they got going to their website just because they hear about a hack? It does kind of work in their favor. Now, I can absolutely understand somebody saying, I'm not going to do that because I don't think it's right. I pretty much don't do it myself, but I also can't blame somebody to do it. I won't go around making a video on it, though. If you noticed, I've never made a video on it. Holy crap! Is that a Cajun's house? Oh my God! Is that an alligator up in somebody's house?
It is.
Oh my
Might be
God! It
Florida.
looks like you can take a belt, a handbag, some boots. I mean, you can make all kinds of stuff out of that big bastard.
A couple of motorcycle seats.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm with Sergio on that. Why would I return a battery? Yeah. I mean, I would return the tool before we return the battery.
Look at Chuck's comment. Oh my God, that looks like Jay Hoop. I've got so many stupid cobalt battery chargers, I can give them away.
Same here.
Sell them on eBay, man. You can
I'm
get 10
thinking
bucks
about it.
out of
Or I might just give them away to somebody. Because ultimately, I got those battery chargers like almost free with the kids. I mean, yeah, I might have paid for the tool and the batteries, but when you get so many battery chargers, it's just like, what can I do with these things? Target practice, maybe hang them from a tree and do target practice with them.
See what I normally do when I start shopping around like that, because if you leave the battery charger out of your kit, you can actually save about 50 to 70 bucks somewhere in there. So like when I buy the Milwaukee tools, I just buy them bare tool, and then if I need more batteries, I just buy the batteries separate, and I just shop around for the cheapest price.
But when you're already heavily into that line, like you are Milwaukee, you don't care about the rest of it.
Right. Yeah, on the end of the day, on your kit, you can actually save a little bit of money that way too.
Uh-huh. It looks like somebody wants to shut the stream down, so
Yeah, I was just about to say the same thing.
we're going to go ahead and say our final goodbyes. Ed, you want to start?
Laters. Subscribe to the Old Tech Guy, best channel on YouTube. Yes, best channel on YouTube. The Old Tech Guy. Peace. Subscribe to everybody.
Leave me last.
Check out my channel. I'm up to 130 subscribers now. Let's try to hit 150 by the end of the year. I would appreciate the support. And keep the drilling of the wood videos coming, guys.
I've got one more to upload.
All right. Thank you for everybody for coming out and hanging out with us, and appreciate the guys coming up in the panel. Everybody has a good one, and peace out. Anthony!
He's MIA. All right, everybody. Thank y'all for watching. We're going to end this stream like one of our good buddies has always ended streams for us. It's always good to stay north of the grass. Make sure y'all stay north of the grass. But like he always says, love, peace, crackling grease. We'll catch y'all Pluta later. Peace out.